and few names in the annals of armored warfare evoke as much recognition and debate as Michael Wittmann, emerging from a modest upbringing in rural Bavaria. He climbed the hierarchy of the Waffen-SS to captain the formidable Tiger We tank. While his status as a legend is undeniable, it is a legacy shrouded in contention. Was he a peerless tank ace, or merely a carefully constructed image of the Nazi regime? This is the chronicle of his ascent, his dramatic final engagement, and the enduring arguments regarding his true standing in history. Born on April 22, 1914, in the small Bavarian village of Vogelthal, Michael Wittmann was a product of the countryside. Raised in a farming household, his early years were defined by the austerity and regimentation common to post-war Germany. In 1934, at the age of 20, Wittmann entered the Reichsarbeitsdienst, the compulsory national labor service designed to foster discipline and workforce mobilization, viewing this as a gateway to military life. He volunteered later that year for the German army. By 1936, Wittmann had secured a transfer to the Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler, originally established as Hitler's personal bodyguard. This unit was rapidly evolving into an elite combat force, placing Wittmann at the heart of the regime. Although he began his training as an infantryman, he soon pivoted toward armored warfare, discovering his true aptitude. Wittmann's first exposure to combat came during the 1939 invasion of Poland, a lightning-fast display of aggression. While his role was minor, it introduced him to the realities of mechanized battle during the invasion of France the following year. He commanded a Panzerschwebwagen, a light armored reconnaissance vehicle, and the invasion of the Soviet Union, Operation Barbarossa, in June 1941, marked a turning point. Now commanding a Panzer III, Wittmann faced the vast, punishing terrain of the Eastern Front and the sheer volume of Soviet armor, and this campaign served as the crucible for his development. Even in these initial clashes, his composure and adaptability under fire began to garner attention. By the end of 1941, he had established a reputation as a bold and competent leader. During the war's opening phases, Wittmann had demonstrated his skill in light and medium armor. However, in 1942, the deployment of the Tiger We heavy tank revolutionized his trajectory, boasting impenetrable armor and the lethal 88mm gun, and the Tiger was engineered to reclaim supremacy from the Soviet T-34. Wittmann was among the first selected to master this beast, and they soon became an inseparable pair. By late 1942, he began Tiger operations attached to the Leibstandarte. Unlike lighter tanks, the Tiger demanded patience, deliberate maneuvering, and seamless crew synergy. Wittmann excelled in this environment, combining technical proficiency with aggressive tactics, engaging advancing Soviet forces during the Third Battle of Kharkov. While specific kill counts are often debated by historians, his unit claimed a massive toll on enemy armor. Wittmann's battlefield signature became clear: remain calm, strike with precision, and withdraw before the enemy could retaliate. His greatest test arrived in July 1943 at the Battle of Kursk, the largest tank engagement in history. Leading a platoon in the southern sector, Wittmann was credited with destroying dozens of Soviet vehicles, and the Nazi propaganda machine latched onto these reports, crafting him into the archetype of the invincible Tiger commander. Modern historians, however, suggest these numbers were likely inflated for morale purposes, yet his performance earned him high honors. On January 14, 1944, he was presented with the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross. By late 1943, Wittmann had transcended the role of a soldier to become a symbol representing individual heroism and technological superiority. By the summer of 1944, the war's outcome hung in the balance. Following the Allied landings in Normandy, German forces struggled to stem the tide. Now an SS Hauptsturmführer, Wittmann was deployed to halt the British push inland. And on the morning of June 13, 1944, outside the town of Villers-Bocage, Wittmann capitalized on a moment that would cement his celebrity-identifying elements of the British 7th Armored Division. He launched a solitary surprise assault, and in less than 30 minutes, his Tiger tore through the column, wrecking tanks, half-tracks, and transports. While accounts differ, German reports claimed over 20 vehicles were eliminated, temporarily halting the British advance. And the propaganda value was immense. The clash was portrayed as evidence that a single Tiger crew could stall an entire division. Wittmann was hailed across radio and newsreels as a national savior to bolster morale. Allied assessments were more tempered, acknowledging significant losses but attributing the success to surprise rather than supernatural skill. Yet few could deny the audacity of the attack, which brought Wittmann the swords to his Knight's Cross, and he became the personification of the Tiger tank, lethal and unyielding. However, notoriety came with a price. To Allied tankers, he was no longer just an enemy combatant, but a high-value target, a prize to be hunted. Following Villers-Bocage, Wittmann was cemented as the ace who might stop the Allies. However, the reality in Normandy was grim. By August 1944, Allied numerical superiority was overwhelming, and even the Tigers were being pushed to the breaking point. On August 8, 1944, during Operation Totalize, British and Canadian forces surged forward south of Caen, making gains under night cover. They secured the high ground near Saint-Aignan de Cramesnil and paused, awaiting aerial support. Interpreting the pause, SS Commander Kurt Meyer ordered an immediate counterattack. Wittmann led 7 Tigers across open terrain. Flanked by Panzer IVs, they were unknowingly driving into a kill zone, hidden in the tree line. British tanks from the Northamptonshire Yeomanry lay in wait, while Canadian Sherbrooke Fusiliers fired from a chateau to the west. The trap was sprung with devastating effect, eliminating multiple German tanks in the crossfire. A shell penetrated the hull of Wittmann's Tiger, detonating the ammunition store. The catastrophic explosion sheared the turret from the hull, instantly killing Wittmann and his entire crew. Who fired the fatal shot remains a mystery. Claims have been made for British Sherman Firefly gunners, Canadian Sherbrooke Fusiliers, and even Allied aircraft, despite decades of analysis. No definitive conclusion has been reached. The crew was buried in an unmarked field grave. It was not until 1983 that the German War Graves Commission recovered their remains. Wittmann was reinterred at the Lacombe Military Cemetery, resting alongside over 21,000 fellow German soldiers, though his association continues to generate controversy. And today, Michael Wittmann's legacy is a dual one to military enthusiasts. He is often viewed as the ultimate tactician. However, historians warn against separating the man from the regime he served, linking his fame to propaganda. The debate endures: was he a battlefield genius or a soldier magnified by myth? Regardless, Michael Wittmann remains perhaps the most recognizable German soldier of the Second World War, a testament to the power of wartime narratives. And that concludes our story. Thank you for watching. If you found this historical insight valuable, please like and subscribe for more.